Hey everyone, welcome to the first reaction stream of Star Trek 80, because the episode has a question mark in it. Do you guys,
Ahoy.
yeah, want to go around and introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Marcelo Inestroza. I'm a writer, podcaster, and a YouTuber.
Hi there. I'm Stan Williams. I am also a podcaster. I'm a writer, an improviser, and an artist, and sometimes a nonprofit operations person. It's my day job.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Rachel. I'm always here, also a podcaster. That tends to be the type of person who shows up on here, and I have a boring tech job. That's my day job. It's not, it's not that exciting.
Neither is
Um,
mine.
Yeah. What? I feel like no one's day job is actually that exciting. That's why we do this.
Yes.
Um. What did you guys think of the episode?
I was really disappointed because I thought they were going to save Starbase 80 to the end of the season. I was like happy, but I was mad at the same time. But it was such a joy to see that this thing that they've been building up in the series for a very, very long time, this mystique mystery of this Starbase is not actually that bad. I mean, it's awful. It's awful, but it's not that awful. You know how like when you're a kid and and you have to like go to a doctor's appointment and so you can imagine the scariest thing to happen to you once days before you actually have to go, but once you actually get there, it's not that bad. It's actually 100 times easier than you thought, that it would be. So I really, really like this episode because of that.
Mhm.
We have very different experiences with doctors, but I
Yeah.
understand the point you're making for sure.
Thank you, Stan. Thanks.
Yeah. No, I
Because my mind
agree.
was
The
going.
the
Actually, the dentist
Starbase
is
was
terrifying.
not as bad as they
Yeah.
Yeah.
make it out to be, which was a fun twist.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I really liked the episode. It was a nice reprieve from another rough week with, real world imploding around us. And,
Hmm.
you know, RFK Jr. is going to be the Health and Human Services Secretary. So nothing matters. And so Starbase 80 was a perfect way station for this week. It was a fun episode, cool stuff for the captain. I liked Mariner's journey, like leaning into the Starfleetness and growing. So it was really cool to see. And I loved getting Nicole Byer in Star Trek as an Elorian who's only 30 in her 30s. So super
I,
delightful.
my favorite thing is Nicole Byer is basically playing her character from The Good Place.
Yes,
Like
100%. That was absolutely Gwendolyn.
it was so. Because I had seen something I was trying to avoid before I saw it, and then I saw a picture, and I was like, "Oh, I guess Nicole Byers in the episode."
Hmm.
And there was a picture of her from The Good Place. I went, "Oh no, they were saying
Hmm.
specifically her in The Good Place."
That might
Paul
have been
Shear.
me. I tweeted that late last night.
Oh, maybe I saw it this morning. Paul Shear also in that episode.
Yep.
So
The Good Place Committee, which
yeah.
you can say a lot about the Democrats. I think the Good Place got their parody of the Democrats perfectly in the Good
Hmm.
Place Committee.
I also really liked this episode. I love Nicole Byer, so I was like 100%. Even if like she was the only, which is not true, but if she was the only thing in this episode I was like into, I was gonna be into it. I also did enjoy it, just like, oh, this base is just old, because as someone who grew up on military bases, they are weird old buildings mashed together to try and make a weird community. Like, and they are not always up to date, and they are like an actual thing that happened on a base while I was living there. Is they were doing some construction and they found a bomb that had never went off in World War II, and they had to shut down the main street of the base. Like, oh, and they announced it on the speakers very like an unexploded ordnance, and we're like, what? And we're like, oh, a like, oh, what's like multiple decades old bomb. No one's currently trying to attack us.
Not
Yeah.
reassuring.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
no, there was definitely like we didn't like. It was definitely like you would get things later, and that very much was like, yeah, a
Yeah,
starbase in the middle of nowhere would get things later.
I just love the idea of like hey, we found a bomb, but don't worry, it wasn't dropped recently.
Yeah.
And they thought that would be reassuring. Like,
Like, they didn't even say it wasn't dropped recently. They just didn't give us more information. They
Great,
just said the
great.
street was closed. Which, by the way, the street was such a big street. It should have taken me 5 minutes to get home. By strolling that street, it took me 30 because I had to drive around the base.
Hmm.
Or like the fact we didn't get a digital movie, a digital projector in that base until well after like Avatar came out. Like,
Oh my god.
so anytime you wanted to see a 3D movie, you had to go off base.
Well, don't worry. Secretary of Defense Fox News host will get right on it.
I'm laughing.
Good
'cause I want to
God.
cry.
That's like getting a DVD, getting like a DVD player like 10 years after they come out. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, 100% what it's like.
What the hell? Yeah, no, but the other thing that I found funny about this episode, and maybe you guys can bring some light to it, to this issue that I had with it. None of the people that actually worked at Starbase 80 kind of knew how to fix old technology, and I'm like,
I
like,
get what you're saying, but I'm wondering if like the thing was they were mixing old and new, and so they needed
oh,
the
okay,
new
and-
thing to fix it, but they didn't have the new thing.
oh, okay,
Mm.
okay. What do you
Yeah,
have to say about this?
I
I
was a
also
little
wondered
confused by
about.
Stephen Root's character, but he was
I just discovered that today that Stephen Root, two things. So Marcella's question, pause. Stephen Root is delightful in everything that he's in.
Yes.
I did not realize until today that he was Captain Kavada in
I
Unification
also
1
figured
and
that
2.
out today when
I was
I
like, what?
I like
Milton
Googled
from
to
The
make sure I was
Office.
right who Stephen Root was playing, and they're like also an episode of Next Generation. I was like, what do you mean?
Oh. Yeah, I was like, oh, he's the Klingon captain
Yeah.
that took Picard and Data to Romulus. How fun!
I-
But to Marcella's question, I was also like, I literally thought to myself, what in the post scarcity nonsense is happening here? But then it's very Trek, like
yeah,
season 1 and let's be honest, season 3 of Star Trek Picard don't paint Starfleet in a good light. Like some
Yeah.
bullshit happens.
Yeah, it's a bullshit.
Like how does a Starfleet, how does a good Starfleet let this kind of thing happen? How does this Starbase not get proper maintenance and
Yeah.
a crew? But
or
That's
apparently also a gang is controlling
Yeah.
half of it.
the Acamarians, really nice touch.
It was just- I love her. We were hoping they would renegotiate it, but nope. Like,
No, but yeah, in a massive bureaucracy, things
Mhm.
slip through the cracks, I guess.
oh, totally.
Hmm. No,
No, now I'm just thinking of more military things where they occasionally would be like, for security measures, everyone in like the DoD has to like follow these computer things,
Mm.
and then it would be like, including these high school students, or like they're like no memory sticks. I was like, I have my essay on this. What are you talking
Yes.
about? Like,
no memory stick.
There will be no networks as long as I am commander of the Galactica.
Yeah, but when it comes to those organizations and those people who make rules about certain things, insert whatever you want to hear. The people that make rules don't realize how stupid the rules
oh yeah.
are until they actually ask somebody else. They're like, this rule's so dumb. Why'd you come up with it this way?
And unfortunately, I was like, yeah, that's realistic.
Yeah.
I've dealt with that as like someone who existed in the US military system, someone who's dealt in every single one of my jobs. Like,
Right.
yeah, it's the people who don't actually do the jobs make the rules for the people who do actually do the jobs and don't ask the opinions of the
Right.
people who are doing the job.
So in a way, I think it's like a failure to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Thank you. I did they're like, we don't have replicators. We have just random core dogs. Like,
These are random core toys. like seriously, does he make other stuff? Like, does he make like pasta,
I'm
or is it
assuming
like
that guy is just the corn dog vendor. There's another vendor
other?
somewhere else that makes something
Oh,
else.
okay,
I don't know. It
because I was
reminded me of like when you go to like a food truck park and it's
yeah
just
yeah
like,
yeah
Mm.
yeah. Because I was assuming that they just had one single. I don't know why I thought this. I was assuming that they had one single food thing, and like he made everything.
no,
So like on
she said there were vendors.
oh,
Yeah.
the vendors. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
and that she's like it diversifies the food, and I was
Yeah.
like, sure it does.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're in
Okay.
engineering, you get corn dogs. If you're in the operations center, you get churros or something.
Yeah.
Right.
It reminds me of like, and this is I think pretty specific to the Austin bar scene, but like instead of the bars, for a lot of the bars, instead of the bars having kitchen, they'll just also have a food truck on the premises.
Mm.
Mhm.
And so you'll go get a drink at the bar and just go out to whatever food truck is there.
Right.
Yeah. I
Also,
also really like
oh,
the look of the doctor. I was like, if I had any makeup ability slash willing to wear like a weird contact and it would bother my eye at a convention, I'd like love to do that as a cosplay.
That was one of my favorite gags in this episode is when Mariner's clearly asking about the virus or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
He's British.
That
He's
made
Brit-
me. I also love the idea that
And
she
his
was
name,
like,
Dr. Horseberry.
she's like, it's really weird to have a British accent in this universe. I was like, it's really not.
Yeah. He sounded French, in fact.
Yeah. I think that I was wondering, and that the actor was Australian. So I think I was the actor. I was 90% playing that character. I really wish they would put the character names in the credits at the
Me
end.
too. Because I was trying to remember, like, I'm super happy to see Oscar Montoya in the credits again. He was one of my improv teachers. Super funny,
Oh,
wonderful performer
sounds
at UCB. He was in Minx,
great.
the photographer. Super fun. And then he is a great voice actor. So I was like, wait, was he Chad or was he the glowing thing at the end? Was he both? Like I was trying to figure it out. I need
Okay.
to
There was
ask
at
him.
one point, and I have no way of looking this up. I have no were the computers on Starbase 80s no LLs?
yes, I
Was it?
believe so. Yes,
I
I
like they
believe so.
sounded like the computers on
Mhm.
Starbase 80s sounded like they were no LLs to me.
Yep.
Because I was looking down at one point and I said, "Why is Tendi talking?" And I looked up and realized it was like the computer when it was like going arcade or bring you to the maintenance labyrinth. Also, why is there a maintenance labyrinth?
The maintenance labyrinth.
The maintenance lab. No, but I really like the Doctor from Starbase 80, but for some reason, like the second I saw his character, I was like, you know who would play this really well in live action if this was like the late 90s? Niles from the Nanny. I think
Oh
he
yeah,
did a great job with this.
Daniel Davis. Yep,
Thank you, Daniel
those
Davis.
are the nanny is. My favorite fact about the nanny is that when it aired in England, they told the British people were like the actor who plays Niles should give accent lessons to Charles Shaughnessy. Charles Shaughnessy is is British. That is just his voice.
Yeah.
And Daniel Davis is from Arkansas.
But he wait a minute, oh yeah, that's right, he is. Oh my god.
I really enjoy. It was like fun. It was just like such a fun, quirky place. We all clocked immediately that Stephen Root's character was the engineer, right? It was fucking with them,
Yep.
Mhm.
and I was like, yeah, he's clearly the engineer. It's just like taking naps and.
I
Maybe
did
he just wanted
for
to
a
take a nap.
second I thought the gag was gonna be that there were triplets and they were all assigned to Starbase 80.
Oh,
But then like it just being him and he just transported to the new location was just hilarious.
I did love. It is a very lower decks joke where they're like, the Starfleet don't come here unless they're going to the arcade. Well, we're going to the arcade. Oh, okay, it's right there.
Yeah. Here's some extra tokens.
Yeah.
I
saw in the promenade, the multi-level promenade, which was super interesting. I love the Tendi gag of like it was just dead officers' clothing that they were handing out to other people.
The
other one
line
that I
reading of
really-
the like the clothes. These are the clothes of long dead men. Vintage.
Yeah, vintage.
Who wears
And like
vintage
that was clearly
clothing?
the
I was like, please don't
Akamarian
describe.
side.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was clearly the Akamarian side of play things because
Oh
they
yeah, 'cause they
had
all had stab wounds in them.
yeah, and they had a Parthos restaurant, which was the thing that Yuta made for Riker in that episode.
Oh yeah.
So
I
great references all around, just as usual for this show.
as someone who does wear vintage clothing, I need people to not describe it that way, so I can feel better about it.
Just
I
call it regular clothing.
I I did the gag the first time I saw it of them going up for the like because the gravity was broken was so funny to me because like Nicole Byers' character just like casually goes up and they just drop
Yeah.
and they're just like what's happening.
I did like all of the Enterprise connections. It was cool to see, like, we've gotten a lot of Voyager references in
Yeah.
Lower Decks, obviously Picard. So it was nice to get a little bit of Enterprise love here with the uniform. And then that gag reminded me of the pilot. I think it was the pilot with Travis finding the sweet spot in the Enterprise where the gravity plating doesn't quite work.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it was a pilot.
I
Super
did
fun.
also love when Ransom asks the captain if she like used these when she was an ensign. She's like, I'm not that old.
Yes.
Because it's like anyone who's ever been around kids will ask you stuff and you're like, how old do you think I am? I mean ask like when you used a rotary phone, how old? Like
You're
A
rotary.
what?
yeah.
A what?
What's a drive-in?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I got asked from a friend of mine who I told him I used to watch old Buffy episodes on VHSs, and this kid looked at me like I had like four eyes of like, back in the olden days you had these things called VHSs and you had to put them into things called VCRs.
I had
It was like a big cassette tape. A what?
Yeah, big.
I had to explain
What?
I ended up explaining to an adult that I was training at work what the safe symbol was supposed to be.
What? Oh my god.
The
And when
no
I
longer
said-
floppy disk. Yeah.
Yeah, I said something about. I was like, "Oh, about it," and then she was like, "What is that supposed to be?" When I said a floppy disk, she's like, "Oh yeah, those things. I've seen one before, but like, she
In a
clearly
museum.
had never used one."
Yes.
And I was like, "This is my first job where I'm like starting to be like on the older end of people there, as opposed to the and I'm just like, oh no."
That happened to me moving to LA. I went from being the youngest in my friend group to the oldest in like my classes, and now in my friend group down here, I'm like, ugh, you kids will get old someday.
Yeah.
It'll happen, dude. Just
I
wait.
said, there's only like a couple people older than me, and one is my manager. One's the team lead. Like it's all people like above. I'm trying to remember specific. It's just like a really. I felt like I was really like it was like I was paying like I was laughing a lot this episode more than like paying attention to a plot, and I was like, I'm just here for the lulz, if you will.
Yes.
Oh, I also love the doctor lying. She was like, "How'd you do it? Fancy doctor stuff." He's like, "I just did that." Like,
Dr. Horseberry.
yeah,
Such a stupid name.
Stupid name.
it's stupid.
I love it though. But yeah, I also like I found myself laughing. Like I mean, every episode has been funny, but I think a little bit of distance from last week. I was more open to laughing than I was last week. It was needed. This week it was needed as well, but like I was more in the mood to be laughing. I wasn't. I'm not quite as numb anymore. But like from the jump with the wetsuits and going to the bridge half naked, dripping wet, is so funny.
I love no one questions Boimler. It's just like topless on the bridge. They're like, "Yeah, we were just down
and
there."
Rutherford, yeah.
I love.
And even the captain was like dripping wet in front of her captain's chair. It was so funny.
I love because it's realistic how fucking hard it is to get out of wetsuits.
Yes.
It is miserable, honestly.
Something that always gets me is like we talk about this on the salon a lot. Like we never it's a production budget thing, but we don't see a lot of civilian clothing in Trek. Like they're just always hanging out in their uniforms. And so one thing that I've always wondered about is like what if they're in the middle of shit? Like what if they're buck ass naked and red alert happens. Like, how long does it take? Especially like the strange new worlds uniforms and those boots. Like everything is like
Right?
liquid fitting. Like how quickly can you
Is
get
there
those
like,
things on?
I'm like, do they have like fireman level training to like,
Just
Probably.
I
Probably.
like, get
Yeah.
everything on really quick, jump down a thing and go wee into boots.
Yeah, no, but are we all in agreement here that the civilian clothing in Star Trek sucks? And
I
they
mean,
maybe that's why they don't have a lot of people.
that gay ass
Oh,
bird from last week's episode had a really awesome sweater though. Will pointed that out last week.
yeah,
okay.
it was a great sweater.
Every
I
once in a
would
while, like
say
I liked Jake
modern.
Sisko's outfits, but for the
They're
most part, yeah, I agree.
like
Okay.
Jake's outfits are like fun in a specific way, but like um I do remember at one point showing my friend. I was explaining that civilian clothes in Trek are often odd, and I showed a picture of Riker to a friend, and she was like, "I've seen this picture before, although it's not his pajamas."
Yeah.
Because he's like in a weirdly silky shirt. I'm like, no, he is performing for people and chose to wear that.
Yes.
Like,
Or like and they're all costumes, so like you can see someone on the promenade wearing Deanna's blue dress on
yeah,
occasion. Harry Kim wears Picard's Rise and Vacation
Oh,
chesty
yeah,
in
it's Jesse. Yeah.
one episode.
oh god, it's like, yeah, you can clearly see when either like like the same productions were shopping at the same area,
Got it from the
or
Starfleet surplus.
yeah.
It's like
Uh,
walking over.
like
Picard's
I
It's like
recently
donation.
saw something like the costume
sorry.
director for Gilmore Girls was like on TikTok, and someone was like, "You like clearly shared items with the front set." She's like,
Yeah.
"No, we
Yeah.
just shop at the same places."
Yeah.
You shop at the
Like,
same. Yeah,
I do
that's funny. That Starfleet has a surplus store.
somewhere. I guess
They
As
gotta have
seen-
one.
it costs money to like.
It would also be funny if like because you know how like early in TNG they referenced the ship stores,
Yeah.
which like I just took as like here's a better replicator than the one in your quarters
Mhm.
to do like clothing and shit. I could just imagine like people cycling through and it's just like as seen on Captain Jean-Luc Picard. And Harry Kim is like, ooh, replicate.
I like that is how like advertising works now. Like if a celebrity wears a dress, they're like, "Ooh, look at this." Some like Taylor Swift wore this dress and then it
Yeah.
sold out.
There's a website. It might even be seen like as seen on TV.com or
Yes.
some bullshit like that, where like if you like what you saw on somebody, you can go to
I
it.
have
And you can
piece
find
of
it,
I
yeah.
have one piece of clothing from that store, from that like website where I went. It was from ModCloth. Everything else I've ever looked on that website is atrociously expensive that I've
Yeah.
liked.
And also, in in that same vein, if you guys like independent movies, there's this company called A24, and on their website, after big main runs of their movies are done, they will actually offer clothing and jackets from specific movies that they've produced. Like there's
That's
this
cool.
amazing jacket from this horror movie called Maxine that I want to pick up, but it looks great. It's like a Letterman jacket. Sorry.
That is fun. I I was just laughing at Joel's the Starfleet clothing store. I guess there was a tailor on Deep Space Nine, so
Yeah.
I guess maybe
Yep,
that's why
there was.
Jake's clothes looked a little cooler than everybody else. Garrick was making all of them, but also probably trying to be like, "So what's your dad up to? I need more spy information."
There had to have been I think they referenced at some point he had one other competition on the promenade, and there were a bunch of restaurants. Like
Yeah,
that Bajoran lady that was infatuated with Odo when he got sick. Like it was a Bajoran cafe that she owned, right?
I think so.
There's a Klingon restaurant, that Quarks,
Mhm.
Garrick's Clothiers, and
Yeah.
I thought there was some other clothing shop there.
I feel like they mentioned it, but I don't know that we ever saw it. So now my brain is like, I don't know where to place it
Yeah.
on their weird set.
Yeah.
I trying to.
And with that, it's time for me to
Alright.
depart. Enjoy
Have,
Starbase 80.
yeah, have fun
Um,
walking Tendy.
yes. We will hopefully see you all in the chat on the salon in an hour. Salon Trek here on YouTube. Thank you so much. As always, I'll see you all next week.
Always fun,
Bye.
Stan. Bye.
It's good seeing you. Um,
So, yeah. So,
yep.
how do you feel about Boimler's stash situation? Because it's like, I don't, a couple weeks ago, it was charming. Now it's kind of like, I don't know how I feel about it. It's like,
I mean,
ah,
isn't that how all facial hair works? You have to like.
yeah, but you know what? But
I do like that it's growing and slowly. It's not just like he has a beard now,
yeah, he does.
because
He has
that's
like a
not
little,
how facial hair works. You gotta wait a little bit.
yeah, wait a little bit.
I I do think it's kind of fun. I love that they're so committed to it. They're like, Boimler just has slightly more facial hair in this episode than the last episode.
Uh-huh.
I also love that they're implying his natural color of hair is purple because his facial hair is purple, or is he dyeing it?
Right. No, I know. I think that he's dying it because he does mention in one episode. I think it's the first episode of season 3 where he does mention he dyes his hair. So I think
Mm-hmm.
I think he's dyeing his stash as it comes in.
I mean, that sounds painful, right?
Yeah, it does because that would hurt.
Like,
Yeah,
like,
but look, uh,
yeah,
like I wouldn't put it past a person like Boimler to do that.
yeah. Because I did remember that he had said he dyed his hair, but I was like, are you dyeing? I guess people do dye their beards.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh my god, oh my god, there's, I can't, I'm blanking. The Deep Space Nine, like, showrunner.
oh, it's Ira Stephen Bear.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, he
Beard.
he he does it.
Yeah.
He does it. Right?
Maybe it's the Loki Ira Stephen Bear reference.
Ira, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, by the way, he's a fantastic writer, guys. He also was a writer for I think 2 seasons. One of my favorite shows, Outlander, coming back next week. Sorry, random plug.
So I guess, is that like temporary dye, the wash away the gray? Now I'm just like asking about hair dye.
Look, the wash away the gray, I would guess is temporary dye. I think
Yeah.
that for to have a consistent coat of that, you have to keep applying it because if you don't apply it, I think that
Yeah.
your gray
I
hair
will say,
would
I
seep in.
know this is that non-natural hair colors on people, like this would be for like, and this is also, even though red is a natural color, but it's more vivid than like most hair color, you
Okay.
have to reapply it more often than you would do if I just dye your hair like brown or black,
Okay.
and you generally have to do it. You generally have to do to get purple or to get like a vivid color like that. You generally have to bleach your hair
Ah, yeah.
and then do it.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, when I was in high school, if you
I guess
guys
we
would
don't.
indulge,
Maybe Boimler's blonde, and maybe he doesn't have to bleach his hair. I guess we don't know what's happening under
yeah,
purple.
but also, I wonder, are the
Also,
chemicals in
this
the
happens too. Sometimes temporary hair dye is lying to you.
It's lying to you. I mean,
It's it will
it's
stay.
not temporary hair dye. Oh,
Yeah,
it'll
look,
stay. It'll
Joel,
stay.
I once used temporary hair dye black, and it never washed out.
Oh, okay.
And it also
Okay.
depends on like your hair type and a bunch of other stuff. But
No, I wanted to dye my hair one time when I was in high school, and thank God my parents didn't let me because they're like, okay, in order to do that, we have to bleach your hair a different color, and there's a lot of pain involved in that.
yeah,
So, are you sure you want to do that?
I
No, but also to stay on this hair dye thing. Like, I wonder if hair dye in the future is a lot more comfortable. So I wonder.
I mean, hopefully, maybe
Yeah.
it's just like a little like just kind of. There was that lady with like changing her her makeup or whatever just by clicking something in Picard.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The news lady. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
hopefully,
Yeah.
I just like, as someone who has I don't currently have any kind of hair dye in my hair, but I have like done highlights and stuff in the past. And I was like, that takes time and effort,
Mm-hmm.
and like facial hair grows pretty quickly.
Yeah. I
I will
mean,
say bleaching shouldn't hurt, but like often people do it wrong.
yeah. I mean, I had this one friend in high school who had to get his hair dyed after losing a bet, and he went to the store by himself, and he bought peroxide.
Oh my god. No,
He
that
put,
would
put
hurt. That's
he put fucking peroxide in his fucking hair.
I'm just gonna. If you don't know what you're doing, you're better off going to a salon. By the way,
Yeah,
just
but
putting that out there.
look, God bless him. He's still alive today, folks. He's still one of my best friends, but that was a poor choice.
No. Oh my god. Like, and I'm guessing he didn't mix it with anything, right?
No, but he just.
So like,
I was dead.
anyways, there's this thing called toner, which they put in your hair, so it's not like just bright yellow.
Yeah,
Was it like
God.
bright yellow?
But but the thing is that
Oh my
when he first
God.
did it, I was there when he did it. He did it and he started moving around, and all of a sudden he's like, dude, my hair is on fire. And then all of a sudden he's like, it's on fire, it's on fire. So
Yeah.
we were on the bathroom and he put his head in this fucking sick. What the hell? And then
Yeah.
and then he goes, look at the
Don't.
bottle. And then I'm like,
I need
dude.
to repeat to anyone listening to this: don't do this.
Yeah, and I'm like, please, please
Oh my
guys.
god. I
If,
did not do that when I highlighted my hair. I went to professionals. I had a family friend who was currently a like music teacher, but
uh-huh.
had done cosmetology in the past,
Right.
and she dyed my hair.
I'm good.
Oh
And
my god!
yeah.
What color was he trying to dye his hair?
No, he was actually trying to do purple, because he had
Mm-hmm.
he
So
had
yeah, if your
yeah
hair is dark, you need to bleach it to like have the color show up.
yeah. But long story short, I checked the bottle and I'm like, dude, this isn't fucking hair dye. This is fucking peroxide. Are you fucking blind?
Yeah.
But
Um.
yeah.
Yeah, also this could happen. This is why that's what that purple shampoo is for, by the way, that you see. It's to stop this kind of thing happening, like your people if you dye your hair blonde going green.
Really interesting.
Cuz like
Huh.
that's chlorine can turn your hair green. That's why you're supposed to always wash your hair after swimming in the pool.
Oh, okay.
Um like anyways, I care a lot about my hair and
Yeah.
now I'm just
No, I know.
giving
I
people
mean,
tips about what
yeah.
not to do. I'm not even big on dyeing my hair, and I'm still like, oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah. I love my hair so much that it really shocks people that I don't use any kind of chemicals with my hair. In my hair, I don't. I'm very, very naturalistic when it comes to my with my hair. I don't use anything. So I
Hmm.
don't even I don't even like using um like mousse when my hair is long and I gotta put it in a bun because to yeah, that's just me.
I have a scalp condition, so I need medicated shampoo.
Oh, that must suck.
Um, that's also one reason I don't bother doing like vivids in my hair because the stuff I have to use for my scalp condition would strip hair dye like that.
Oh my god.
Um,
Huh.
I care more about my scalp not being itchy every day.
Yeah. No, yeah, no. And the other thing is that I used to I used to wash my hair one day and then the other day not wash it, but I discovered that when I did that, my hair used to get oily and I used to hate that. So I used to I just wash it now. I don't I don't do it.
I will
Just
say
keep it.
like I would say one reason your hair might be getting oil if you like wash it too much.
Okay, what if I watch it too much? Yeah.
Because okay, your hair, if you strip your hair of oils every day, your body thinks something's wrong and starts overproducing oil.
Oh, really? I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Because it's like, oh no, like, why is it always getting stripped? And then it will get like more oily.
Huh.
But then
Oh.
the problem is to get it to the part where it stops overproducing oil, you have to like let your hair be oily.
Oh. Okay. Okay. So to to
Yeah.
okay. So to let my body sort of get back to normal and stop
Yeah.
producing so much oil, you have to let it be oily and disgusting.
Well, you have to
Okay.
like not wash your hair right away,
Oh. Okay.
which then then if your hair's already oily, you're like in this like annoying chicken egg thing where you're like, but it's already oily and I hate it.
Yeah. 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 No. But
I
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look. I did that for like a year where I would wash my hair one day and not the next day, and I was in the chicken
mhm.
and egg situation where it annoyed me so much I couldn't take it. Like
Yeah.
I just couldn't.
I would say because
But
a lot of people now a lot of people with curly hair don't necessarily use shampoo. I have a scalp condition, so I'm not skipping shampoo.
right.
Uh, but or they will just use conditioner because the curly
Okay.
hair needs are different than like other. Yeah, now I just like giving people hair advice. It
Yeah.
feels
Sorry.
weird.
Yeah. Guys.
A little off topic.
You know.
Starbase.
Yeah.
Uh,
Starbase 80 was a great
so
episode.
why? I did love the question exclamation part at the end, like Starbase 80, and I love that they put the same exact audio of the Starbase 80. Damn, that's like the worst base.
Yeah. Yeah. They did. Didn't they? They put the same audio
Yeah.
over it.
I do love, I feel like they've been doing it more this season. Yeah, this happens every time Stan leaves that we just go off the rails. Um, they've been doing the gag of like keeping the audio going as like they're fading to something. Like, Mariner still screaming no as they're going
Oh.
into the credits, even
Right.
after,
No. Yeah.
yeah, even after, Ransom was like, are you gonna do that the whole time?
Yeah.
And also, Captain Freeman still fighting the giant bat, and remember the claws.
Yeah. Hmm.
They
Yeah.
did something
That
similar with Jet running away from Ransom in earlier this season.
That I mean, the last shot of this episode when Captain Freeman is running towards the bat and she just goes ah, she has
Yeah,
like this gladiator moment, had me on the floor in stitches. I watched it like 3 times. Like that just
I
it just
I
got
don't.
me.
There's something about the like the audio is still going as we're going to credits that I always find so funny, and
Yeah,
it gets me every time.
yeah. Um, you know,
Freeman was a little batshit crazy, just trying to.
a
I
little
will
bit.
avoid this fate. I will fix this base if it hurts me.
Yeah, you know what? Freeman, look, Captain Freeman is very like when you tell Captain Freeman that she can't do something, she's very hyper focused on proving you wrong.
Proving you wrong. How dare
Right.
you imply that
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
something I cannot do?
yeah, yeah. She reminds me a lot of myself in that way because when when people tell me that I can't do something or when people tell me that I'm not good enough, I usually get really angry. And 99% of the time, when they tell me I can do something, I'll go away for a while, and then I'll come back and be like, "Oh, remember that thing that you said I couldn't do? Well, here you go. I did it." So I identify with Carol or Captain Freeman on that regard. Now that we're like midway through the final season, what has been your favorite single moment of this season so far?
Oh, oh God, now that's hard.
Sorry. I just
I'm trying to
sorry.
think like
I don't.
a
Yeah,
joke that really got me
yeah,
or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah. I don't mean to put you on the stop. I don't mean to put you on the spot. By the way.
I did love. Okay, I it might be the sleepover with Tendi and Derica.
Uh huh.
Like just the like we're gonna uh plan some pirating while we're
Yeah.
like in our pajamas, and I thought it was
Eating.
really
Yeah.
cute and sweet.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, as Joel put it, junior sex candle guy. I feel like this is like the second time this season where it was like they end up helping the thing they thought they were fighting. Because it
Mhm.
seemed a little similar to how they ended up doing on that vacation planet, that like big thing they were like fighting against, and then it turned out it was the mini Lost Voyager from the other universe.
Right.
Um so I wonder if like that's gonna be a thing where it's like that maybe it's like the fissures. It's like these things that you think are like it's something bad. It's not always something bad. It's something, maybe it's just something misunderstood.
That would, that would keep in line with with a very Star Trek theme, because there are a lot of
Mm-hmm.
Star Trek episodes and some Star Trek movies that I can recall, that the crew of that specific Star Trek movie, or the crew of that specific Star Trek show, are fighting a thing, and then they realize that the thing that they're fighting isn't actually a bad person; it's just misunderstood. So
Mm-hmm.
I personally do not want that for like the final sort of mystery, or the final big bad of Lower
Right.
Decks, but
So
it would be
saying
very Star Trekky.
it's very Star Trek, and also I don't know that they knew this was the final big bad when
Right,
this season was written.
right, right,
So I
right,
don't
right, right.
know
That is true. That is true.
that
That is true.
uh
Yeah.
we should hold to like, how dare this be the final thing, and you're like, sorry.
Yeah, we didn't know.
Yeah. I
Um. Yeah. No. Yeah. But to 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 give my
I
two
also
cents.
love like,
Sorry.
but they did do it in a way that it became clear to, I feel, to the audience pretty early on. It was like, oh, it's through their comm badges, but they did it in a way, and you're like, oh, I see why they don't realize it's their comm badge, because they're not like seeing the same thing we are.
Right. 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 And
Because
yeah.
it's like it became clear as like, oh, that thing, we're seeing that thing, but that's not something that's actually super noticeable to them.
And plus the people on the people that are that were already on Starbase 80 before our beloved crew showed up, they don't use comm badges.
No, but they're
So
also, they're just weird enough for them to, for it to them to be like, I don't know what's like, are they like, they're not part of the curse thing? Oh no, they're just a little weird. I do. She's like,
mm,
yeah, we're quirky. She's like, but we're not licking walls.
we're not licking walls. Yeah, but like, look, I really appreciate the people that work at Starbase 80, but those people, those lovely, lovely, lovely people, seem to me like they seem to be like people, or workers that Starfleet like doesn't want to deal with, and any way that they don't want to deal with, they just shove off to like Starbase 80. And,
Yes, this happens in jobs.
yeah, yeah, it's the same thing, right?
Yeah,
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I just put that together in my head. I'm so sorry.
yeah, that's like, um,
I'm just sorry.
I don't want to deal with this employee anymore. Send them to that other team.
Right, yeah. Sorry guys, sorry guys. I did not
Yeah.
think that went through after I said it.
Yeah,
By the
I was
way,
like, yep, that's what 100. I mean, that's why Mariner got sent there.
yeah, yeah, that's
I
true.
did
That's
the
true.
one thing I was like, did Mariner this lady not meet last time she was there?
Uh
I guess she didn't
how
stay there very off, like, very long.
okay, but here's a question. How often do you think a personnel rotates at Starbase 80? How often?
Oh, they forget about them, so never.
So never. So it doesn't make sense. So Mariner should have run into her.
Or Mariner was just so insubordinate, she just like didn't, and the woman was too awkward to say like, we
Yeah, yeah,
met.
yeah, yeah. Or Mariner met her and it just didn't register.
Yeah, I did love that where she was like, oh, I get it. The Cerritos isn't like the shiny beacon of the Federation, and this is fair. She's only 30. Maybe she's new.
Right, right.
I
Um,
I
yeah.
did love them being like, when Elorians are young, they're just normal people. There's nothing that like I've definitely met people who like they've watched, a bit of TNG, and I point out the guidance characters in Alien, and people go, "Oh, she is."
Yeah, Guinan's species to me in TNG, they were a species that I was always interested in, but I don't think that nobody's really unless I'm forgetting something, which I probably am, but nobody's really explored them in a really interesting way. Like it always fascinated me.
Yeah.
It always fascinated me that Q, when he wasn't
Mhm.
fucking around all the
Yeah.
time, that Q was afraid of Guinan. And
Yeah.
and you have that one scene in that one episode when Q blasts them halfway across the galaxy and introduces them to the board. But you have that one moment when Q tells Picard, like, "Oh shit, you don't know who she is," and she does the hand
Yeah.
thing, and I'm like, "That's interesting." Why? I'm like, the fact that they
I
didn't the fact that they didn't explore her character more was like a really like a disappointment for me
Yeah.
for
I
Guinan.
mean, you see it a bit in Picard season 2. They have that like she can give them a thing to like summon the Q.
Yeah, yeah,
And
but
then I'm
yeah,
trying to think that all the times you see in Elorian. You see them in Generations.
right,
All the times that are not just a random scene with Guinan.
right.
Because Malcolm McDowell's character is also Elorian. And that
Oh,
one
okay,
episode of Deep Space Nine, but that's just like that dude just happens to be an Elorian. It doesn't seem to matter that he's an Elorian.
okay. So it's like an afterthought to using Lord.
Oh, that's really cool. Actually, that makes a lot of sense for Boothby.
Okay, Wharf 359. Oh, no, a
So
novel.
yeah,
Okay,
so it's not canon, but like that's something that makes sense to me.
okay,
Nothing about Boothby contradicts that to me.
okay. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
this
it's
episode.
I was just saying I was not Star Trek fans like us. It'd be like my uncle who's seen random episodes of TNG, and it was like, isn't it weird Whoopi Goldberg was in TNG? I share a fact. I say something about her being an alien, and they legitimately thought she was human because most of the scenes it's not clear that she's not. To be fair, I've also met people who didn't realize Deanna was not human.
No, well. To be fair, if there's one character in TNG that they did dirty, like so, oh, Deanna should have had like a bigger role. Like
Yeah.
there's,
Oh,
there's
it's clear that clear that sometimes they just didn't know how to
know what to do
write.
with her.
So, well, they were
Yeah,
like, it's actually annoying if someone could read their emotions, so let's not.
yeah, yeah. No, but
But I've also met people who didn't realize Jordy was human because they're like, he's got a thing, and I was like, he's just blind.
yeah. But the
He's
other
a
thing,
blind human being.
yeah, but just another quick word on Deanna. I as a writer, I can understand not knowing what to do with the character because of this, and this, but they made her a counselor, so they should have just leaned into like if they
Yeah,
didn't
I
know what
loved
to.
every time they were like, let's actually have her be a counselor.
Thank you.
Yeah,
If you don't
look,
know
I
what to
love
do it,
Deanna, but
yeah,
the TNG did not write women the best.
yeah. If you don't know what to do with her alien powers, make her critical to the show in her counselor role. Do that.
Yeah.
But hey, look. By the way,
Um.
guys, I love TNG. This is not me bagging on the show.
Yeah. I know. I love TNG and I love Deanna, but like, this is also just of the time.
Right.
Uh. To be fair, I will defend when she got upset because she was like, I don't have a good enough intuition because I've never had to use trust intuition before.
Okay.
I would also like. I would also say like, it would be I would say similar to like comparing, say, if I like lost a limb, comparing my ability to do things with someone who was born without that limb. Obviously, someone who's never had that limb would know how to deal with it better than someone who just lost it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she would probably need to go through some kind
I,
of training again to be like, hey, I don't have this skill set I used to anymore.
I mean, on that, on that same regard, I think that someone like Deanna, if she was presented with that situation, would do a great job. Dealing with a certain situation by using by using having to deal with the situation differently because she didn't have a skill or she lost an arm or
Yeah.
whatnot. I think that after a while she would just she would just adapt and learn to
Yeah.
do her job in a
I
different
would
way.
say, but you never skip like that episode. You only see her right in the like grief of just losing it, and they're like, I was like, give Deanna like a couple months, like give Deanna a
Yeah,
month or two.
yeah. You you know what they should have done? They should have given that story like a couple episodes,
Yeah. Well, that's not how TV worked then at all.
right. I know.
It
I know. This is all
although
insight.
I could defend Deanna all day. I did once. A friend made friend is a loose word. Um, an acquaintance.
An acquaintance, a companion. No.
Uh, that once made a remark so rude about Deanna Troy that I, out of spite, made a D&D character based on her in a game I knew he would also be playing in and he didn't notice.
Oh my god.
Her name is Marina. It wasn't being that subtle.
No.
She was a psionic character in D&D.
That's not being subtle.
Yeah, if
Mhm.
it's 48 minutes, unless it's a two-parter, then you get two 48-minute episodes.
Yeah. Hmm.
Besides that, it's unless it's Deep Space Nine, it was doing that. Nope.
Yeah.
I it was also like I do get it because like there's a reason Deep Space Nine is more popular now than it was then. That doesn't work well
Yeah.
for first run syndication because if you miss an
Nope.
episode, you're like, I don't know what's happening.
No. Yeah. No. I mean, one of the reasons why D Space Nine is so popular now, I think, is because D Space Nine was designed for bingeable TV. Right. It's designed
Yeah,
for
it
the era
was
TV that way. Yeah.
Deep Space Nine is a TV show, perfect for a TV format that came out like almost 30 years after it aired.
Yeah. It's too early. Huh?
It was
It came out too early. I keep telling people
yeah.
it came out too early.
No, it was funny because someone was trying to tell me because they were saying they enjoyed Deep Space Nine over Voyager, and I think I probably do too. But like, I was kind of defending Voyager, like, well, they went back to being episodic, and they slowly went
Yeah.
Deep Space Nine getting good ratings. I was like, no, let's make it clear, Deep Space Nine did not have good ratings.
No.
I
No.
love
No.
Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine did not get good ratings at the time.
Voyager at the time kicked the shit out of Deep
Yeah.
Space Nine in the ratings.
I would say true, but like the second season of Deep Space Nine opens with a three-parter. That's really weird for 90s TV.
Does it? I don't remember that.
The second season of Deep Space Nine opens with like the Lee Nallis like
Uh,
storyline.
oh yeah, that thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So like that's really odd for TV at the time to do that.
Yeah, very strange.
Um. So yeah, it does take a few seasons for it to be like really into it, but like it is doing it at the beginning. Like,
Right.
and there's still like the Cardassian thing is happening over that first season, and but yeah, and I do really like I really like the Lee Dallas storyline, but it would be if you missed an episode of that,
It'll be awful.
it would be really it would be confusing.
Yeah.
Um, especially like it's not as easy to like or like because I can't imagine I was realizing now with first run syndication like a truck driver would never be able to get into a TV show doing first run syndication because it
No.
airs at a different time and day
It. Yeah.
wherever.
Yeah. It will be impossible.
Yeah. So or like
No, but
anyone
like,
who did any kind of traveling, like
yeah, like
unless
I'm
it was
really.
something like if it's super episodic, great, you caught whatever episode you caught and you're not confused.
I'm really glad that I watched Deep Space Nine for the first time on Netflix. I'm
Yeah,
so
it works very,
happy
very well as
that
a
I did
binge
that.
show.
Yeah. Yeah. So happy.
Because like even when I first got into TNG, I was catching reruns, and they would play Deep Space Nine later, but I couldn't always stay and watch Deep Space Nine, so I was always
Right.
confused by it, and I never knew what was going on.
Right. I always when I tried to watch Star Trek shows when I was a kid, like my favorite Star Trek show when I was a kid was Voyager because I just found it so I don't know, I something about it called to me. Like
I
my favorite
I never like saw Voyager much as a kid. I was watching on Spike, and I wondered if it was like even later in the day, and it
Yeah.
was dinner time or something by the time Voyager came on.
To be clear, I want to clarify. I only watched one episode of Voyager when I was a kid, and the only episode, and the only reason why I did that, guys, was because I had a crush on a girl, and she watched Voyager, so I ended up watching Voyager. But the one episode that I watched was the 100th episode. I'm like, I watched this, I go, what the hell is going on? I don't understand anything.
I swear my brother had a habit of walking in on me just watching very odd Star Trek episodes.
Really? Okay.
Including the one where like he walked in and the doctor singing like someone's in the kitchen with Dinah,
Oh, okay.
and my brother's like, "Were you watching
The hell
Star
are you
Trek?
doing?
What?"
Yeah.
Or my favorite at one point, he walked in and was watching Trials and Tribulations, and then he stopped
Okay.
and said, "Wait, is it? What is this?" And I was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Oh, it's an episode of Star Trek from the '90s where they go back." In time, and it's
Yeah,
like for an
yeah.
anniversary thing, and he was like, "Oh," and the thing is, he recognized Colm Meaney in the scene that he'd seen, and then got confused because he knew Colm Meaney wasn't old enough
Right.
to have been in the show in the '60s.
Yeah.
But it was like that was the only reason he clocked that it wasn't just a clip of the original series.
Yeah, to be fair, guys, I grew up on on Buffy. So when all of you who are watching the show right now, we're going crazy over Voyager and Deep Space Nine. A lot of you, I was going crazy over Buffy. So
I was like when you were watching Buffy, I was like young.
yeah, younger. But it's yeah. But,
I'm trying to think if Buffy ended in 2003. I was watching the Lilo and
Yep.
Stitch TV show.
that's an awesome TV show.
It is a good TV show, but
I know, but I know a little sidetrack. Are you excited about the live action movie? Because I'm kind of excited.
live action, it could be cute. I try to keep my expectations low for the live action Disney stuff.
Yeah.
I'll probably go watch it in a movie theater, and I hope I'm entertained for however long it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
It might be. No, but I've been thinking this whole time. What's my favorite moment of this
yeah.
final season of the show? And it would have to be the that episode when they meet the other Cerritos from the other universe, and evil Captain Beckett or Becky ties Beckett Mariner.
It's something so funny about the evil version being Becky.
Yeah, Becky. Well, like
Yeah.
Becky. What the hell? No, but I love the moment.
The youth just turned 31. I'm not that young.
The youth. By the way, guys, Rachel is 31 and I'm 36. So we're kind of.
Or not that. It's only if you're talking about stuff when like I was a child, because then
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. I mean, to be clear, guys, to give you more context, because context is king. I started watching Buffy in season 3 when I was in high school, and then
I also
then
watched Buffy when I was in high school. It was just later.
Yeah, later, right? Way
Yeah.
later. Yeah, but we're young, so they
Jill
keep
says we're
dragging.
young.
We're young, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a crime. I know.
It's so funny because I feel like I'm older in this. Sometimes when I'm on like Twitter, sometimes someone will say their age, and I'm like, oh, like
Yeah.
I'm like, oh
Yeah.
no.
No, like that story that I told you before. For some reason, and guys, I don't know why this happens to me. I'm just very personal. I think a lot of my friends who I've met online and who from different places and family gatherings and stuff like that, a lot of my friends are a lot younger than me. So every time they say, "Oh, when you were a kid, it must have been really difficult because you to use something that Stanley said earlier, had to use one of those fucking rotary phones." And I go, how old do you think I am? like we were like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was like, dude, when I was a kid, we had this thing called AOL, and we had this thing called AOL Instant Messenger, where we would come home from school, go online and get so excited when our crush would would come on,
I
would
mean,
come online or whatever.
for a long time, my grandparents had dial-up. Like,
Dial up internet. Thank you so
yeah.
much. No, and I remember I remember getting so angry at one of my friends. I go, okay, do you want to know how lucky you are today with like instant internet, Netflix, and all that stuff? I actually found an audio sound of dial-up internet, and I go,
Mhm.
imagine having to do a report for your teacher and have to listen to this bullshit before you. And
Also, you couldn't use the phone.
yeah, that's right, that's right, that's right.
But
And
this
it,
is true. The AOL guy did just pass away.
yeah, he did, unfortunately. And every time that you were online and a phone call was about to come in, your speakers would hum. And I'm
Hmm.
like, yeah, sorry. Yeah. This is a feeling old segment. Sorry.
Right. I like. I'm trying to imagine my most like old people. It was like I did remember somewhat. Well, not recently. Recently, when I was in college once, I was like watching a TV show in the living room, and I was watching the TV show. I think it was The Blacklist. Happened to be. I was watching it live.
That's a good show.
Yeah, I liked it. Uh, but my roommates came home and just started having a discussion front, and and then I was like, just trying to watch the TV show, and one of them was like annoyed. I didn't like this woman, so whatever. But she was like,
That's
why don't you just?
okay.
And she was like, why don't you just pause it? And I was like, it's live TV. Do I need to
You can't,
explain how?
you can't
Like,
do that.
yeah, I am watching this TV show
Oh my
as it
god.
airs.
Yeah, watching Buffy. Sorry, I don't mean this.
Yeah.
Watching Buffy back in the day was so exciting because like you had to tune in like every week, and it was very rare and very unusual for them to run repeats. So if you missed an
Hmm.
episode, you were screwed. You just had to. There was no Hulu or there was no Netflix. It was just none of that. And
I
yeah, and to bring it back to Star Trek, that's why I'm so happy that the first Star Trek show that I would. Oh yeah, hold on. Oh, no, I'm good, thank you. So yeah, no. Uh, Sorry, guys. What was it? I forgot what I was saying. Go ahead, Rachel. I totally forgot.
I don't know what you're saying either. Yes, yeah, I went to Blockbuster. There was Blockbuster. That's how you. Netflix used to mail you DVDs in the mail.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah,
Um, and I was just laughing at Sohill. Not a close set.
not a.
Ironically, I am not much of a. I'm not okay. I'm not much of a corn dog person because I'm not much of a hot dog person. Because cheap hot dogs
You
make
are
me
not.
feel gross.
Yeah, and they make
Like,
you feel bloated, don't they?
well, like they make me feel nauseous.
Okay,
I've
well that's
never
worse.
actually gotten like physically sick, but like I feel gross, so I stopped eating them because I don't want to feel like that.
Right.
That's fair, Joel. I guess I'm fancy that if I'm like buying hot dogs, I will only buy all beef or kosher hot dogs.
Mm.
That's as fancy as I get.
Oh, it's not bad.
I don't know. Are they all beef hot dogs? Is this the owl dogs?
No, but you can get you can get hot dogs like no like with no beef and
Yeah.
certain there are different types of hot
So the
dogs
problem
out there.
is so as people are talking like street hot dogs, and I feel like usually those are not all
Oh,
beef.
okay.
Like anytime I'm in New York, the like thing is like go just get cheap hot dog, and I usually just go get a cheap slice of pizza because that's not gonna
Pizza's better.
make me feel gross like a hot dog
Hmm.
would. Although I bet I'm realizing now there are a couple I've seen that are like specifically like halal, and those won't have pork in them, so that's probably wouldn't make me feel.
Ill.
Yeah, I mean I've had a corn dog before. It's fine. Like
Yeah, corn. Yeah, but corn dogs aren't
I
my
get
favorite.
I get the appeal of a corn dog. It's carbs around a sausage. Like I get that. I'm more like I'd rather just kind of get a nicer sausage than a hot dog.
You know what I would much rather have than a corn dog or a hot dog, is a Twinkie. I love Twinkies, and they're so bad for
Oh,
you.
I'm trying to remember if I like Twinkies or not. Do Twinkies have caramel in them?
Uh, I think,
'Cause-
no,
okay,
they had.
this is my actual weird food opinion. I hate caramel.
Oh, you don't like caramel? I don't.
Oh, the
I don't
worst.
like caramel either.
The worst texture. Like,
Yeah.
this is true. My parents were driving around the other day and saw the Oscar Mayer like Wienermobile driving around. They're like, "What the
Really?
hell?"
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah, those would also be fine too. Just not the. So I couldn't remember. I think I sometimes get Twinkies and like Snickers mixed up in my head. Just
Okay.
like stick thing that's not great for you.
You stick things that's not good. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
kosher hot dogs are great. I'm now just making myself hungry.
yeah, I don't.
Oh no! I
Mm.
now remember exactly what a Twinkie is. Yeah, those things awful for you. I get
Yeah,
food
they're
people.
so bad. But also, I want to be clear. Since I'm trying to be more health
Yeah.
conscious, I've cut back on hot dogs a lot.
I mean
Um.
I can't judge. There's a bag of leftover Halloween candy here. Like
Oh, look at that.
um
And yeah,
and I like just to be like, oh yeah, I only eat kosher hot dogs. I also like love sour candy. I'm not big here like I'm so much better because I'm healthy.
no,
I'm
no,
not.
it's good. No, it's cool. It's cool.
Like
No, I would no. First of all,
I'm just more likely to go get a burger
a burger. Oh my God, now you're making me
than
hungry. That's not fair.
yeah, than a hot dog.
A burger. Oh, thank God you're a burger person.
Hmm. For the hair color portion we're now corn dogs. The hair color came out of somewhere, and that had to do with the show. I swear. And the
Yeah,
corn dogs
no.
were in the episode. It
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
was Chad.
No, but yeah. No, but the thing is, if people watch this episode and they say that we spent like what 10 or 20 minutes talking about
Yeah.
hair dye,
We have to figure
it's
out if Chad, the person playing Chad, the corn dog, actually was Stan's like improv
yeah,
friend.
we got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
Again,
did,
that my literally my biggest complaint about Lower Decks is them not putting the cast credits, like or like how
but,
they do the cast
but they
credits.
should do that. What
My bet is why they don't is that people play more than one character, and they
okay,
don't.
and they don't want to do that.
Well, like how I'm convinced Noelle Wells was playing a computer in this episode.
No, she was. She
I'm
was.
pretty sure she
That
was.
was her. That was her. Yeah.
It definitely sounded like her. Actually, this was a really good zombie story, and it was like good in the way like you figured it out before. You're like, Billups is obviously like something's wrong with him, and they're like,
Yeah, it's okay. He'll live.
yeah,
Oh,
so
sorry.
corn dogs flying. I don't even like. I'm not even that big of a corn dogs person. And now I'm like, corn dog sounds nice.
Yeah. But you know what? I would like a really good steak over a corn dog.
I mean, that's fair, but also steak is a lot more expensive.
Yeah, steak is a lot more expensive.
Uh,
I mean,
I feel like the appeal of the corn dog is not fancy. It's the appeal of corn dog
no.
is meat on stick.
Yeah.
Nom nom nom. Like,
Yeah. It's a very low key kind of thing. It's a very like two well, it's a very like 2 a.m. kind of food.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what I usually eat if it's like 2 in the morning and I want something.
Um,
If I'm out, it's a burger. That's like,
you know what? If it's like 2 a.m. and I'm really hungry, I will normally get like I like muffins. So I have like a collection of different kinds of muffins in my kitchen. And a lot of times at 2 o'clock in the morning, if I don't want something big, I'll just go and get a bottle of water and a muffin and just have that.
I will sometimes, if it's like 2 in the morning, I just tell like, oh, I'm just a little hungry. I need to eat something so I can fall asleep. I'll literally just eat a slice of bread. So that's probably a similar, like,
Oh, yeah, that works. Also, yogurt's good too. I like yogurt
yeah.
for little tiny.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, 2
yeah.
a.m. is for ending up at Denny's or a
Yep.
Waffle House. I
Yeah, a Waffle
sometimes
House.
there's only if Father is in the chat, only Father will know what I'm talking about. I will often end up at a Kirby Lane.
Kirby. Ooh, what? That
Kirby Lane
sounds.
is
It
literally
is.
only in Austin, so you were not expected to know this.
Okay.
It is a diner that at least used to be 24/7. I don't think they're actually 24/7
And
anymore.
is it like Denny's?
So it's a mix of food. So it's like some of it's diner food, like Denny's, and it's like pancakes and stuff like that. And you can also get like dinner and stuff there. Um,
Okay.
I actually like their breakfast food is really good, and I get pancakes and eggs there all the time. There's like a dinner dish. Um, Dave loves Kirby Lane. That's my favorite Kirby
Oh,
Lane.
there
Is
he
there's
is.
a salmon dish that has basil mashed potatoes as the side, and I will half the time I will get that salmon dish because I want those mashed potatoes.
Oh my god, that's
I
funny.
need to stop. Yeah.
We need to stop talking about food.
Um, I will say that Father misspelled this year. It's Kirby. There
Oh,
we go. Kirby. It
oh,
is Kirby Lane.
there you go. There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. Kirby Lane.
It is Kirby Lane. With the original one was on a street called Kirby Lane, and now it's a local chain.
Okay, local chain. Okay. That sounds very
Yeah, we
interesting.
get into diners now that we're at. If I'm like on the road, I'll hit up a Denny's.
Yeah, I mean,
Same.
like when a couple years ago when I was driving to my cousin's wedding,
Mm-hmm.
all the way from New York, we actually drove 18 hours from New York to Texas.
Oh God, I've done shit like that before. It's awful.
That was crazy. At 2 a.m.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
There are planes exist for a reason.
at 2 a.m. in the morning, my family and I got hungry and we ended up going to this Waffle House.
Mm-hmm.
But that wasn't the kicker. The waffles were great and the service was great there at 2 a.m. But I swear, we were like really close to Texas.
Mm-hmm.
We were eating our food, and a guy with a gun belt came in, and I have no idea what compelled my grandfather to actually say something. Luckily, the guy didn't turn around, but I'm like, "What are you doing?" That guy looks really, really big, and he looks like he could kick our ass. So just shut up.
No. Don't say anything. Like
No, I know, but
I
no, but I no, but I no. To be clear, I just calmed him down because I'm like, "Are you insane? Just
yeah.
don't say anything."
I I also used to go to Denny's in college when I was like studying late at night. We would go and study at like
Right,
Denny's
right.
because 24/7. Is there anything
Yes,
about the
24.
actual episode we haven't said? Probably not at this point. We're talking about
No,
food.
no. Oh, wait. There's something else I wanted to mention about the episode. I can't think of it right now. Damn it. Oh no, no. I wanted to mention my favorite part of the season. So my favorite part of the season was watching was watching Marinette get tied up by Becky, and then Becky go out of her ready room with the sarcastic Vulcan salute, and then Mariner have say Beckett. It was just a great callback.
Mm-hmm. That was. She was like, "Oh, that's how that feels." Like when you're like, "I am
Yeah,
turning into my parent." Oh
yeah.
no.
I'm turning into my parent. Yep.
I
Yeah. Yeah, but this episode didn't make me laugh as much as last week, but there was something that was so pleasantly wonderful about this episode. It was just fun.
it was like really funny. Um. No, we talked about it earlier, Fathery.
What are we talking about?
Oh, I just responded to something Fathery said in the chat.
That's okay. I don't read the chat, so yeah.
Um. But yeah. I will then reminder that both Fathery and I will be at Trek to Dallas. Is that what the convention's actually called, Fathery? On Saturday.
Oh, cool. Have fun. Have
Yeah.
fun, guys. Enjoy yourselves.
Yeah. Yep. As Brian put it, at least Marcelo isn't murdering children this time.
Sorry,
I don't think
guys,
to be fair,
guys,
I don't think
you
Marcelo ever wants to be the one to murder the children. He just wants to watch them be murdered.
guys, I am not a vicious person. Look, so look, as a writer, I like to kill characters. That's as far as I get. I have I have to
But then you don't
listen.
make
I have
people sad.
yeah, I do. Yeah, no, I
I
have to.
I say this like I've never killed a character in writing.
Yeah, look,
But
I I have the Joss Whedon sort of syndrome, right? I'll write a
mhm.
character and I'll make the reader fall in love with them, and then right when they're
Take
not
then kill
expecting
them.
it, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take them away. So yeah, thank you,
Right when they're at
Joss.
their happiest and most self-fulfilled,
Yeah,
murder them.
yeah,
That's the
yeah,
Joss Whedon way.
yeah.
I
I'm sorry. So
I just
sorry.
want Fred and Wesley can't even get an episode of happiness. They just
Yeah, no, that's right. But
I oh no.
speaking of characters who could never get an episode of happiness in Trek, Miles O'Brien was treated so badly. That
Yeah.
poor character.
O'Brien must suffer. Yeah.
Yeah, O'Brien must suffer. It's this thing like we should make T-shirts.
I'm sure someone has at this point. Um
Yeah.
but yeah, I guess any last second things you wanted to say about Starbase 80? Question mark? I guess 80 with question mark
A-
exclamation point.
80? No, I
Yeah.
listen. It was just really fun seeing the actual Starbase because we've heard about it now several times on the show, and it really
Mhm.
didn't disappoint. The only thing that I was really surprised about the base itself is that it was bad, but it's not that bad.
I mean, living there doesn't sound fun.
No, of course not. No,
Yeah.
no. Just to be clear, I want to be
It was
clarified.
bad in a quirky sitcom way, which is probably
Thank
better
you,
for lower decks than yeah.
thank you. Bad in a
Um
quirky sitcom way. That's what I was looking for.
well, I think yeah, I enjoyed. I was worried. I was worried. Like, I really enjoyed this episode, and I was worried we were going to see Starbase 80. And you're like, this is depressing, and I was like, actually, this is fun and quirky.
This is depressing.
Good for this funny show. I really enjoyed the episode, and I like seeing military bases the way military bases actually are, a weird jumbled mess of stuff, like where you've got weird houses that have never been updated, um planning that clearly was built around a thing that doesn't make sense. Like for instance, the flight line for the Air Force base that I lived in Japan was in the middle of the base, and so if people were taking off, you couldn't get to the other side of base.
Huh? Well, okay. Somebody,
Occasionally
yeah.
they did a training exercise called touch and goes, and they would just be doing that for a while. And at one point, half the like students couldn't get to school
Oh my God, that's
because they
crazy.
couldn't get because you don't risk getting hit by an airplane.
Yeah, but does this so would this happen like a lot on like
Yeah,
military bases?
regularly.
They would just really? Oh my God.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was an Air Force base. The main reason
Yeah,
it's
Air
there
Force.
is for planes to take off.
Yeah, Air Force Base.
Or, or if, say, there a massive earthquake happens, and then all the planes from Narita International Airport can't land there, and they all come and land on your Air Force base, then you get stuck
Right,
on one
right,
side
right.
of the base.
Right, wow. That's crazy.
Um, yeah, military bases are weird. Um, yeah, so I really enjoyed seeing that part, which is not the most, it's not the part everyone hears about military bases, but it rang true to me.
hmm
Um, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. And Nicole Byer is always great, and so is Stephen Root. They're both are always charming. So it was a lot of like, I really enjoy this actor. But I hope Talin's back next week. That's my one.
Oh yeah, that there's no Tulin this week. Wow. I didn't notice that. Huh.
Um, yeah. So I guess everyone, I think it starts in about 10 minutes. So everyone, make sure to check out Stan and the rest of the crew on the salon, and live long and prosper.